what's good? What's good?
Hey, welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, where we talk collision repair, PDR, everything in between. And I'm Stefan Eschi. That's Nick Priest. Welcome to episode 83. First show of 2026.
First show of 2026. Alex is also first up in here. What's going on, Alex? Nice
You
to
hit
see
it
you,
first
buddy.
today. Thank you for coming in.
For sure.
How was your week?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, started off, well, I did that Lexus fender. I got probably 6 or 7 more. I got a couple dropped off at the house to do. I mean, hey, I can't complain. It's been good starting off.
That's good.
What's up, John?
That's good. Staying busy.
Yes,
I have
sir.
myself. I've been fixing cars out in I don't know, 10 to 40 degrees, anywhere in that realm. But it's been, it's actually, I want to share that my initial reaction to getting into PDR, mobile PDR, was worrying about the cold.
Right.
Because I don't like the cold. I don't like it when somebody opens the door in the body shop. I don't like the cold. So thinking about working out there in the cold wasn't that fun. Let me tell you, when you prepare, you bundle up, put the layers on, you have the right stuff, maybe a heated sweatshirt, maybe a propane heater of some kind. It's not so bad.
It's not that bad, is it?
It's really not that bad. You go to town, you're working on something, so your mind's not on the cold, it's on the dent. So I'm really encouraged.
Not as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, well, I'd probably take this over your heat.
Well, I mean, today it was 59 degrees. I mean, I'm sitting here like, where is the actual cold? I mean, I got a little buddy heater I was thinking about using too, but I mean, it ain't gotten cold enough for it.
That's great though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to MTE. I did want to bring up, I don't know if it was today. I think it was today. It was kind of talked about. PDR techs out there all know the name Paul Corden. Recently got diagnosed with a severe kind of, well, they don't know how bad it is, but with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yes.
Just no good. So I just, quick note, there's it's not a GoFundMe, but it's the same kind of thing. It's attached to our Smash Masters Facebook. This guy has been highly influential in the PDR world. If you have used Mobile Tech RX to make money, he has helped you.
Right.
And even if you haven't, he's probably helped you in some form or another. Could use our help right now financially. So please go to the Smash Masters Facebook, click on that, make a donation. The treatment's well into the 6 figures, and insurance isn't covering it. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
we got to support our own.
Right.
So please take a time to go do that. But yeah, we got a great show for you guys tonight. This guy came across my social media, a video of his where he was interviewing other tradesmen on what they think about the trades, which I think is great. Getting that
we kind of talked about doing that a little bit last year, talking about like diving into like just other blue collar trades and stuff, just seeing like what everybody else is doing out there. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. So I mean, and maybe we will, and we'll start it out by bringing Anthony in tonight, and yeah. So let's bring him out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get him in.
Welcome to the show, Anthony. Thanks for joining us.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
How's it going
on? Crystal clear audio. Everybody's going to enjoy that tonight. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Carlo, for the mic.
There we go.
You done a great job.
There we go.
Yeah.
So what's up, fellas? Yeah, I just want to get a quick background from you. So can you tell me how you got your start in working on cars?
All right. Well, I got my start working on cars because I went to vocational program in high school. My father also did auto body. He's pretty much my inspiration for going into auto body. And I worked for my dad for a long time. And, It was a family business, and I got into auto body because, I looked up to my dad, and I wanted to,
Kind
provide
of
for my
a
family, and I saw that that was a way I could, so I did.
yeah, generational kind of thing, inspiration
Yeah, it
kind
was
of got
definitely
up
a
in it.
generational thing.
Did
And you
he
Definitely
said you
was.
went
encourage
to
it?
What'd you say?
Did he encourage it? You going into auto body?
I'm gonna say no, because to be honest, just like me at this point, like with my own son, it's just like it's such a tough industry. It's
It
tough
is.
on you, especially
Yep.
back, even in the 80s and 90s when my dad was really doing it heavy. It wasn't really a great industry. It didn't really offer a lot of things, but it was, my one true love, to be honest. Even though I went into it because my dad did it, I didn't look at that as like, my gift in. Like, I always wanted to learn. My dad never gave it to me easy, that's for sure.
Right.
I worked for an old school guy. If it was hot, it was hot.
Mhm.
Didn't matter. Your back hurt, your back hurt. Move
Was
on
there a
with your life.
certain
You know
car
what
or
I
a
mean? You
certain
could do what
like
you want. You could go out there. You want to hang out, you could hang out. You play games. You want to go to the bar, drink till 7:58 if you want to. But
Hmm.
8 a.m., yes, better be at work. You better be ready to
right?
work. No
Yeah,
bullshit. And you know what? That's definitely what this generation might have lost a little bit,
yeah,
is that old,
Huh?
that old school mentality coming from the generation above, which it was just like
yeah.
nobody gives a shit work.
Right,
I was
right.
explaining that to somebody, a PDR tech recently, and I just said, one of the main differences between PDR and auto body is in PDR, you can look at something and go, yeah, for one reason or another, I'm not going to fix that.
Yeah.
It's just not going to do that. In auto body, whatever's plopped in front of you, you're doing, you're
Yep.
fixing,
Mhm.
you're replacing, you're doing it,
Right.
so
Yeah. And especially when you're one of the young guys coming up, I started working there when I was 19. So like, and I always had like ambition and appetite to keep moving up faster and faster, and it comes with a lot of garbage work first. I'll never forget the first door I ever straightened was a Hearst.
Yeah,
And they were
yeah.
just like, I don't think anybody getting this one's going to mind if it's a little wavy. So go ahead, have at it. And I'll never forget the guy who used to check my work, checked it with a rag and everything, like a paper towel
Yeah.
under his hand. I was like, whoa, bro. Oh yeah, no, they were ruthless back then. They were ruthless back
I
then.
mean-
You weren't getting away with no waves and all that. They just tell you no. They won't even tell you how to fix it. Like, looks like shit. Keep going.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? That
Yep.
type of
No
stuff.
sugar coating. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they
and,
got
and
the
white
same
to be
gloves for
honest,
generation.
I
that.
love the way I was raised in the, in the trades. I'm happy that my father didn't, I hate to say it, pussyfoot around me or nothing like that.
Mhm.
Just because it was my dad and stuff like that. That wasn't, that wasn't an issue or a topic, man. We went to
Right.
work. We went to work. He was my boss. I was the worker.
That's good.
And then luckily for me, in 2015, I got the opportunity to, take control of the shop.
Mhm.
And things broke our way, and in 2017 I was able to buy the property that the shop was on. And then luckily for me, in April I was able to sell everything, the property and the businesses, to pretty much what is private equity. And I remain as a consultant for the private equity firm for the next 5 years. And I'm very happy with my decision, and took a lot of hard work from a lot of people to get us all where we got to in my family. So you
Yeah,
know what,
right.
like the credit goes to all of us, and even though it took certain things to happen to make other things happen, at the end of the day, like, I mean, I worked with my dad my whole life, and maybe before we worked together our relationship wasn't so great. And
Yeah.
maybe after we were done working together, our relationship isn't so great. But the years we worked together and stuff like that, it was probably the best years of my career for sure.
Oh,
Looking
that's
back on it,
interesting.
all the fights and all the shit and stuff like that. Yeah, family businesses has their moments, and mine's still dealing with some of the moments from the family business and shit like that, because stuff gets rough out there, and things get said, decisions get made, and unfortunately, when your family's in the middle of all that, it's a very hard thing to run successful family businesses right now, and not and leave it at the door, if you know
I
what
give
I
you
mean.
credit. I
Leave it
give
at
you
the other
credit.
door. You know,
Right.
to leave
I
that
give you credit
at
for
work.
doing it.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
tough, man. It's tough. And honestly,
sure.
I just think in this industry in general, the whole private owner thing it's over. You know, in my opinion, the independent shop owner, if you're an independent shop owner, you better have like 4 or 5 of them at this point, or get going in that direction. Because if you're going to be an independent guy, just the materials alone, you won't be able to stomach it. You won't be able
Yeah.
to stomach it. As an
Yeah,
independent shop owner,
What I've heard.
what I was paying for Spies Hecker and what Caliber space for Spies Hecker, I mean, that alone
Right.
is enough
Right.
profits to make them happy. If
Right.
you know, I seen it. Like, I'm paying 300 for something, they're paying 100. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
come on,
Yeah.
man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like-
that's capitalism. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's good. That's what's going
It's
on, you know?
really
So
less capitalism and more monopoly. You know, it's almost like, you know, I hate to say it, almost like how Kempley did with the materials. Like, they took over the East Coast. They just bought
Mhm.
everybody out. And once you own everything, then you do what you want with it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's just, I really think that the independent shop owner, definitely in my area, the independent shop owner, it's over for you. You know, like,
Yeah.
you
Right.
do your best right now to just get out for as much as possible. I think actually the value of these businesses are actually down from a year or two ago, if you ask me personally. So I don't even know if now's the best time to sell.
yeah,
But
I mean, that's it's you know, I'm
That's
sure it goes up
interesting.
and down.
hey,
When
listen, man, the MSO and the private equity and all that money, man, it's how do you fight it? As
Mhm.
me,
Oh, you
as a
can't.
single independent shop owner, how do you fight it? You can't.
Can't.
And the
Yeah.
admin that they keep dumping on us, that's the end of the independent guy. We can't handle that. You can't handle having 3 guys in the office when you have 3 guys in the back.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
It's tough. It's tough.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Getting into working on cars, were you more drawn to the body or the paint side?
You know what's funny, man? When I first started, I really thought I love the body end of it. And I was a heavy guy for about 6, 7 years
Yeah.
not when I first got in, because when I first got in, I cut fucking cardboard for about a year. So
Sure.
that's a whole different topic. When I get young kids in and shit like that, and they don't want to
Mhm.
fucking sweep, I'm like, damn, bro. You know what I did for 18 months when I got here?
Right. Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah,
man,
cut
I didn't
cardboard.
even want
Did
to
it.
sit down when break time came because I was afraid somebody was gonna fucking tell me I was being lazy.
You know-
for sitting all
You know,
evening.
there was a guy that started in a shop that I was working at one time, and I gave him a plasma cutter to cut up boxes because he was using a razor blade. And he's like, "That's too hard." So I gave him a plasma cutter, and I was like, "Just use this." He's like, "You couldn't do it." So I put a piece of aluminum tape down there, and I had him cut it across there. He had a huge fire going, just messing with him, you know.
One time I told the kid, dude, do me a favor, go armor all the wheels on that car. Because the kid finished cleaning it, armor all the wheels on the car. He walks back over to me. He goes, all right, I'm done. I look out the door. The tires are dry. I'm like, dude, you didn't do it. I walk outside on all the rims, armor all, just pouring down the rims. Not one drip on any tire, every rim covered in armor all. Chrome rims. He's like, oh, you said the wheels. He said, you said armor all the wheels. He said, I thought you
Oh,
would have said
God.
tire if you meant the tire. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, we're fucked. You know what I mean? Then I got another kid. I'm in my office. Listen to this quick story. You want to laugh? I'll give you another quick story. I'm in my office. My guys come in and they go, listen, we let this go on for too long, but you got to come out here and do something about this kid. I'm like, what's going on? I come in the back. He's got the broom and he's casting it like a fishing pole and he's pulling the dirt back on himself. Like
Oh
this.
wow.
And I'm like, bro, listen, the directions are in the name of the tool. It's called a push broom. You fucking push it.
Where do you think he got that idea from?
I have no idea. But now this is a kid that is already in some type of vocational training.
Right.
Like, I got this kid as an intern. Like, they're not teaching you how to fucking sweep the broom the right way. What is going on here?
Yeah. That's
I mean,
It
I
was
do
at that
use
moment
that.
that I put the shop up for sale. I was like, it's time.
that was the one that
This
did it,
is-
huh?
There's no hope.
I've used that exact thing to test out new kids. I mean, I've done it multiple times. So, I mean, you give me a kid who knows absolutely nothing. First thing I'm going to do is tell you to sweep up some Bondo dust. So you sweep up the Bondo dust. That's not the easiest thing. That stuff's really fine. So you got to know how to do it. So when they fail, which they always do, I go, no, this is how you do it. And I show them how to sweep up the bonder dust, get it all. And then I give it back to them. And if they can't do it, you ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's another big thing I was taught when I got into this industry. I'm going to show you once.
Right.
Once.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get it and you didn't listen or you don't pay attention, I'm not telling you again. So that's what every guy I learned from said would be like, listen, I know you want to learn and I will show you one fucking time.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
This is not something you need to be shown 3-4 times. You know, that's why people always like, yeah. You know, I've actually been getting a lot of younger females that have been interested in auto body. I have a 15-year-old girl that I've been working with since she's 13. I told her her mother just messaged me. She's like, my daughter wants to learn how to weld. I was like, really? She's 13. So if you actually go through some of my reels, you'll see the video I made with her. Like, she's awesome. Like, I taught her how to paint now. She comes in, she paints cars with me. She knows how to weld. She calls me every week. Can I come in? Can I come in? She'll go in when I'm not. Like, at first I was like, listen, you're a young girl in a shop. I was very nervous, you know, like this day and age, you never know either. So like the first few times I was like, as her mom, I think you should like stay, hang around, see what this place is like before you leave your 13-year-old daughter around these animals, you know. But to be honest, to my guys' credit and to her credit, she fit right in with the guys. The guys love her. They love to show her and help. Like, she could ask them to do anything. She goes in there and works when I'm not even around anymore. And like, they love helping her out. And that's just like, I go to show, like, if you just come in and you show a little bit of like, you want to learn something and you want to be there, dude, any guy, you got to be a real asshole not to stop and try to help a kid out that wants to learn something. That's taking interest in something. Like, when a kid looks at me like I'm God because I painted something, I'm like, wow, it makes me feel good. You know, like I actually do have this skill. That's another thing I tell all these kids when I go talk to them. Like, listen, your accountant might have a lot of money. He might be happy. You know, the lawyer might have a lot of money. He might be happy. But what are they really creating? You know what I mean? Like, what do they get to stand back and go, wow, I did that. I made that. I created that. Your tax return. And I tell these kids all the time too when I go talk to them, you guys want to be YouTube stars? You want to be social media stars? Nobody's watching anybody doing taxes on social media.
Right.
Like, everybody that's watching content, it's because it's a hand-driven content that people are taking enjoyment out of watching. Like, come on,
I think it's harder
mowing the grass at 100 miles an hour, making $1 million a month, knocking on old ladies' doors. They think they're doing the old lady the old lady's like, oh, you're going to do it for free? He ain't doing shit for free. He's making $1 million off that clip.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so that's what I tell these kids. Like, you want to get into media, even maybe you're into photography with a niche into cars. Like, you know, you go into media with cars. Like, you know, like the guy who makes content for me, like, he's not media for cars, but that might be an angle because not everybody wants to cut their hands. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. My hands are still filthy dirty with paint. I love it. That's bro.
I've seen some really awesome drone footage, like of photography, drone footage, videos, all that kind of stuff. And for me, like, I would have never thought about using that type of stuff, you know, but being creative like that, like, people think like photography, like you just stand back and you're just, you know, let me get you a picture, but it's so much more than that. And even
once
like, since I've been doing this stuff, I've learned a lot, a ton.
Dude, you learn that a lot more goes into this than you went.
Right.
For sure.
What's up, Patty Clark? My boy.
So so we were talking we got you through learning some auto body. You ever do anything else other than auto body with cars?
With cars? Not really, man. To be honest, I mean, I owned a mechanical shop also. So like the way I had it set up, I bought my body shop and then there was a building next door. So I bought both the buildings and there was a guy in there who was a mechanic, but over a couple of years he left. I took it over. So I started my own mechanical business. It was a 5-bay building. So on the 3 bays on the left side, I had a full mechanical business going. And on the 2 bays on the right side, because the shop was split by a wall, I opened up ceramic coating, window tinting, all that accessory bullshit.
Gotcha.
And so because I already had the auto body shop going, so pretty much I had it as like I had an auto body shop here, had the mechanical shop here, and the tint and wrap shop here, and it was like I'm on a peninsula. So I've done that, and oddly enough, in 2020 when COVID hit, I opened an in-ground pool company with my brother, and yeah, it went nuts, man, to be honest. I mean, it went nuts. I mean, me
Yeah.
and him out of nowhere, we just decided to open an in-ground pool company. I had
Mhm.
some contacts that reached out to me that said, hey, if you want to give this a shot, you can make a lot of money.
Hmm.
So I said, hey,
Strike while the iron's
that's
hot.
another
That's
thing.
awesome.
Dude, listen to me. I still couldn't put a filter together right now, but I definitely did about maybe 200 high-end backyards. We did some crazy stuff, some crazy waterfalls, like did some really nice stuff. We had some really
Cool.
big headaches too. Do you think auto body's bad to do, man? You should try doing home construction. Oof.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
man, at least the car comes to us and the customer
Mm.
just gets to see it fucked up and see it fixed. Where when
Right.
you're working at people's houses, especially in your backyard, when you like, dude, it's nonstop. These people are real rough.
I
Because,
did,
Well,
a
so-
little, I did a little bit of that when I was younger, like a good bit actually.
people are rough, man.
Yeah.
Especially around here. And like it was like we were working for a lot of people that were like had money. They went to work and they had like, I hate to say this, a younger wife at home doing Tybo all day.
Mhm.
And she would come out and she would say she want to do all this stuff, and then the husband would come home and call me an hour later and be like, no, we're not doing any of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Right.
No.
all day you get her telling you to do this, then the husband comes home, he tells you don't do that. I actually had a couple of guys working for me that were fucking champion bodybuilders, and at a couple of the houses, a couple of the husbands were a little uncomfortable. They were like, you tell those guys to put on some shirts. The funniest thing was the biggest hit on they got were from two gay guys.
Of course.
We were doing a pool in two gay guys' backyard, and man, my guys, they were a little nervous. One of them brought their girlfriend to work with them one day because they were getting hit on by one of these dudes. So yeah, but again, like I said, we just found a niche, found a need. I always say when I talk to the kids in the high school, when I go talk to them, dude, America's built on supply and demand.
Right.
So just
for
like
sure.
auto body guys are making stupid money now. Why? Because there's a low supply of us. So a lot of us, especially in the area I'm in, you could kind of demand what you want. You could say crazy shit and probably get away with it. Like you could go in a shop and be like, you know what? I think I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if that guy is good, you'll probably do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because that's where we're at as owners at this point. You're literally like, oh, you want to work when? Oh, you want to work 8 at night till 4? Sure. Okay, sure. I mean, like, because like you literally can't have like too many standards these days. Kind of just got to go with it. I also am a recovering drug addict. So like that's a big part of my life also, my recovery. I was hooked on all sorts of shit. When I broke my neck, I had screws, started with the painkillers and didn't stop for probably about 13 years. Got real bad towards the end. I was probably addicted to fentanyl towards the end because, and started having a lot of bad seizures, started lying to myself, lying to my family that it wasn't the drugs, but it was. And that's another big reason why I talk publicly and I go and I talk to people, because like I was so ashamed of that. And I thought when I went and got professional help, like I had to go inside, lock myself in, they had to lock me up for a little while. I needed it. You know what I mean? But I was always not wanting to get that help out of fear of embarrassment in my business.
Right.
Not my wife. Not my wife. My wife's the greatest ever. Not my family. I really thought they would have my back, and they did, but I'm supposed to be the big business guy. I'm supposed to be and remember, I live in my neighborhood where I own my business. Like these people aren't my customers. They're my neighbors. They're my friends. They're my kids' friends' parents. So it's like to come out and, you just don't know. You don't know the public reaction you're going to get from saying like, yo, I was a drug addict. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But once I did go and get help, when I got out of getting help, I was like, there is no way I cannot fucking tell people to go get help because dude, like today, I just said to somebody like, dude, I am so happy today just because I'm fucking sober, man. Like just because I didn't wake up this morning thinking about how am I going to make sure I have that? Or how I know I'm going away next Thursday. So I got to do my calculations now, and I got to spend all week and all next week making sure I got everything lined up. And no matter what I get and what I bring with me, it'll never be enough. You know what I mean? So like, I just didn't want to hide that because I thought once I got out, I told my guys I was going on vacation, like I was like, because I did, you never know. Because I was
Right.
ashamed. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed of the man I became, So, but after getting help, like I couldn't hide it, man, because I wanted somebody else that was like fucked up like me to know, like, dude, you could do it, bro. I got in there and they tell you, when you get in there, they tell you like, yo, out of 10 of you guys, 9.2 of you ain't making it.
Yeah.
Out of 10 people, not one of you are going to actually stay sober. And I was in my mind, all I heard was there's a 0.8. There's a 0.8 in there. He said 92, 9.2. He said, so there's a 0.8 of a person who's staying sober. I'm going to be that fucking 0.8.
Yeah.
And dude, so far, knock on wood, it's been 3 years in December. I've been that 0.8. But
that's awesome.
It could always sneak up and get you. But yeah, man, I returned to my
never-ending
battle. My face, I big with, my Lord and Savior. I don't want to get too religious, that's not what I am, but you know what I mean? Like, just found myself to replant myself and find myself a higher power to keep myself moving in the right direction.
You got it, man.
There's a lot of people that struggle, that like feel like you feel like you're embarrassed, don't want to tell nobody, kind of just go away and say, you know what, if I just don't say anything, it'll go away, but it never will. No. And people like you that've been through that's done the hard part, getting the embarrassing stuff over with, and can come through the other side and tell a story. That helps so many people. I mean, it's just amazing what some of that stuff can do.
I just want to say, Cass is over on Instagram saying, congratulations, thanks for sharing your story. The odds are against us, but we keep getting up.
Yeah, she's great too. I talk to her all the time. Me and her have become friendly. She just, she's blowing up on her own there. She's doing a good job. You know what I mean?
She's doing awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I tell her, like, that's why, like, I like the girl that I've been training, like, I'm trying to hook Gabby up with Kat. I'm like, yo, it's good, like, to talk to somebody, like another female in the industry. You know what I mean? She sent Gabby some stickers and stuff. So I was like, that's awesome. The girl, Gabby, she's also a race car driver. It's unreal. She's 15 years old. Like, her parents are great too, because like they're all about whatever they want to do.
Speaking of young women getting into the trade, I mean, honestly, maybe throughout my career, I had like 4 or 5 like apprentices. Best one I ever had, 17-year-old girl. She actually listened. She's clean. She took steps, proactive, wanted to please, like none of the guys. I had a female
painter for like 2 years. I had a female painter. And unfortunately, she went back to drugs also. So I had I let her go at that point because she was another. Honestly, man, I would say I don't really run into many guys in this industry that either A, don't have a problem, B, didn't have a problem, or C, still having that problem. Dude, I hired a painter on a Monday. I turned my cameras on at 6 a.m. I'm getting out of my bed. This guy's drinking a Coors Light in the paint room, 6:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Fucking get in there. He's got it under a rag under the bench and shit. I walk in there, I pick the rag up. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? He's like, a beer. Now he said a beer as if like it was apple juice. So like, yeah, it's a fucking beer. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, dude, it's 6:30 in the morning. And I'm like, I was like, listen, man, I know that you having that beer is actually better for me because you probably can't function without it. So if you don't drink that 1 or 2 beers in the morning, you'll probably be shaky and not do a good job. But I can't condone that. And I can't have that around my shop. So, but I will tell you I don't know if in every area of the country, but in my area, it's very, very hard to find guys that could keep their shit together.
Well, I would say that across the United States as a whole, there's a shortage in every area. I mean, it may just look different in each region, but I mean, there really is, a shortage. Young people aren't wanting to come into it. I mean, there is a lot more women. Like when I was leaving, I would see at Caliber, when I worked there for a short time, I would see some women come through and, I thought they were doing pretty good, but in a way, it's kind of like because they can be vulnerable and be like, okay, show me everything that we can do here. And how do I need to do it exactly like you do? Where when you're an adult male, you're probably like, how can I be better than you? Like instantly.
Well, that's what, when I saw Cassie's video, when I talked to her, I was like, yeah, you asked for help. like, hey, could I get some help? And I'm sure nobody has a problem. I'm like, but when you're an 18-year-old boy and you go over to a grown ass man and you're like, I don't know how to do this. Like, oh, you don't know how to do
Right.
this? Come
Yeah.
on, baby boy. Let me go show you how to do this.
Yeah,
And
let me
Right.
they
dad
don't
you real
mean
quick.
it, like they don't want to, you know, but let me tell you, man, the young kids today, they can't really take that type of hazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't really take, like, you know, the type of shit that you were told to shut up and take 20
Right.
years ago. You know, then you ain't be turning the bathroom lights out and throwing M80s in there. They'll cry.
No,
Yeah,
I
right.
remember. I remember it bugging me when I was young, and you know, going home, and the guy that my mother was dating at the moment said, honestly, if they ain't messing with you, they don't like you. So
Right.
100%. That's what I
if
tell
they're
all of them.
messing with you, they like you, and
Right.
it totally, you know, totally flipped it in my head, and I was like, not upset anymore, you know, and totally, but.
An auto body
It's
shop is
interesting.
not a place for a sensitive kid. I'll tell you right
No,
now.
definitely
But,
not.
you know,
No,
and to be
Definitely not.
honest, though,
100%.
like, I mean, you're an adult, and I think things have gotten a lot better. Everything in the industry's gotten a lot better. The safety equipment's gotten a lot better. Then,
Yeah.
dude, we had
The
the door shut. We didn't
information.
have vacuums 20 years ago. It was freaking, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face when it was the middle of the
Right.
winter and all. My shop's small. It's only like 2,700 square feet. So it's like 6 bays in a booth. So, like, when you shut the doors and you have no vacuums back then,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
fucking brutal.
Yeah.
So, like, I do say, like, the safety has come a long way. You know,
Mhm.
I still don't wear an air helmet when I paint. I wear a regular charcoal respirator. You know, I mean, I probably should wear an air helmet, but
You
at
don't
this
like the
point
way
now,
it messes with your vision.
yeah, and at this point now, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, the story's written on my body at this point. So, you know, like, it is what it is. Wearing an air helmet now after 20 years of cigarettes, fumes, weed, and whatever else I could throw in my face. I'm pretty sure, you know, that's another major reason why I sold the shop, is because, like, if I really feel like I have 10, 15, maybe good health years left in me, you know, I know I'm only 42, but I'm gonna be honest with myself, man. Like, dude, I beat the shit out of my body, internally, externally, you know, between working so hard and all the drugs and everything else and sleep and whatever else I could conjure up. I just don't think, like, I don't see me having that 65 to 80 run that's going to be good. Like,
Yeah,
I
right.
truly feel like I probably have 10, 15 good years in my lungs or whatever, and I want to enjoy them. And if I
It's good to
stayed the
be
owner of the
realistic.
shop,
Yeah,
I
it's
dude,
good
I
to
had
be
to be realistic.
Yeah.
But I
You can't be
I would
married
hope
to
for
two
better for you.
things. I was married to the shop, and I was cheating on the shop with my wife for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? That's the way it is when you're in business for yourself. You know, up until when my dad, you know, after my dad left, I had no other partner really. You know what I mean? So it
Right.
was like, it's kind of by myself at that point, you know, and I had my brother helping me, and me and him had some issues, you know. Like I said, it's never easy, you know, blood and fucking business, you know. Fucking
Yeah,
ruined my
sure.
relationship with him, unfortunately. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like, and there's just things that you can't go back on, there's things you can't take back, things that maybe you wouldn't take back if you could take back. And, you know, that's probably from everybody involved. And that's just what happens in certain situations when they hit their course. But I don't
Absolutely.
regret anything. I don't regret working with my dad. I don't regret working with my brother. I think in the end, it really was the best relationship that the three of us ever had, was
Yeah.
when we were working together successfully.
Yeah.
It was probably the best that we've ever been. But, you know, hey, man, business is hard. Family is harder. Business and family is really hard.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely it is.
I don't
Absolutely
think
it
I
is.
would take that on myself. So yeah,
And
definitely
listen, man,
props
no
to
matter
you.
what anybody says, that, you know, even if you're a 50-50 partner, there's always a chief and there's always an Indian. And it's just the way it is. I mean, there's just, in every business, there's the guy that somebody's going to look to make the fucking call.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the boss.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I mean, people say it all the time, like, yo, the workers will tell you who the boss is. They go to you. They go to the boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you're not wrong
I mean,
there.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
And I do think, you know, getting rid of the shop, selling the shop, and moving that part hopefully away from my family life will, you know, in turn, when things settle down and the dust settles, you know, maybe in the end it'll be the best for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do, man? You know, life's tough sometimes, and business is tougher.
Just keep trucking. That's
Yeah,
all
you
we
just
can
keep
do.
moving
man.
forward.
I
That's
mean,
all.
listen, I'm happy. I'm healthy. He's happy. He's healthy. You
Mhm.
know, I love him. I wish him the best. And, you know, I know he loves me, wishes me the best. And, you know, sometimes, you know, just two people, you know, you could do lunch and I could do lunch. Just right now, we can't do lunch. It happens.
Right.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
other than that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my nonprofit because
That's
that's
what I was
mainly
just
what I
gonna
came
ask
on
you
for.
about.
Even though we went
Yes.
through the auto body saga and drama of the industry,
Mhm.
I mainly came on because I opened a nonprofit once I sold all the companies called Trade Up, Level Up. And it's a nonprofit trying to connect the youth with the trades. I didn't
Yes.
single out
Awesome.
auto body because, to be honest, it's very hard to push kids into auto body right now.
Mhm.
So I didn't want to, I also wanted to give myself as wide a latitude of audience as I could. Because,
Yep.
like we were talking
Smart.
about before, if you focus on just one thing like auto body, even though it's my niche, it's hard to grow it. You know, when you
Mhm.
Right.
open up to 15 trades, it's easier to funnel people in.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
because I'm using the media to build the nonprofit, I was like, okay, I got to make sure that I could include as many people as possible to get as much audience as I can. But sometimes that kind of pushes me out of the auto body space also. You know, like I'm talking to you guys now, but for the most part, I'm not really in just the auto body space.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to have as much opportunity to get as much support also. So like if I go to Milwaukee or I go to the wall, like I don't want to be like, I'm just pushing auto body. Maybe they don't have a lot of tools that they want to do that with.
Right.
Because that's the kind of support I'm looking for from sponsors. I'm not looking for anybody's money. I don't really need anybody's money. You know what I mean? I more need like I'm looking for corporate support. Like, how could you help me help these kids? And how could I help you look good for helping these kids? Because
Gotcha.
let's be honest, it's the only reason why they're going to do it. They're not doing it because they care. They're doing it because it's good publicity that they're getting behind a nonprofits that trying to push kids into the trades that
Mhm.
use their tools. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like that's why I just went trade oriented because I want to be able to maybe open up to any type of sponsors. Also in New York where I live, the unions are huge. I
Okay.
mean, if I could go back in time and not go into auto body, if that wasn't a thing at all, you
Mhm.
know, I would definitely try to go get into a union. All my friends that went into the union, either one or two things happened for them. Either they're doing very fine, living a good, normal life. They have a house, you know, normal life, nothing crazy, but
Mhm.
normal life. Or they went out on their own after being a union tradesman in 10 years and they're all multi-fucking millionaires right now. Those are the two people I know, all my friends in the trades. They're either one or the other. None of them are the fucking guy that's like on the balls of their ass, can't fucking get it going, you know, you can't pay their light bill because all my friends that work with their hands find ways to make money.
Right.
Like that's what I tell these kids, train your hands. You'll never go hungry. Like, no, I don't know shit about a pool, but I could fucking dig a hole with my two hands. Not hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I tell these guys, you might be an electrician, but maybe your buddy, the plumber, needs a hand for the day. He's going to give you $300 for the day. You know, like once you use your hands and you train your hands and you're not afraid to use your hands, then the possibilities to make money is endless.
Is there a
100%.
specific trade that kids kind of lean towards more than the other right now that you've seen?
Well, listen, I mean, electrical right now, in a way, although I am pushing it to a lot of, I think it's going to be oversaturated very soon.
Think so?
Because I feel like with AI and all this data center shit and stuff going on, everybody's heavy electrical right now. Even the data center company put out some press release that we're going to be down 300,000 electricians soon for what they need to do all these data centers. I personally am pushing my son is going into HVAC.
Okay.
Everybody that I've talked to in all the trades, plumbers, electricians, all of them, they all tell me the same thing. HVAC kind of encompasses all of that.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not electricians, licensed electricians, but we do controls and all that. So we are very electrically, you know, good. You know, they do so many different things in HVAC.
It's another diverse trade. You learn plenty of little things, just like auto body.
Right. And like the steam fitters union in the city, I mean, you know, them guys making nutty money, man. And I interviewed, if you go to my reels, you'll see a steam fitter I interviewed. I didn't even know this. They could work till 55, retire, and start the next day at the same union and run another 15-year career and have a double pension from the same union.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
You could retire after 15 years in, but you have to be 55. So you could get on at age 40, say, work 15 years, retire, go back the next day at your same salary. It's not like you start over at the beginning, work another 15 years, and they'll give you a double pension for that. They're the only union in the city that does that, though.
Do you have to finish the second 15? Then you're 70.
Yeah, right.
Point.
Right. But listen, hey, at least it's out there. At least it's an option.
No, it's cool.
I mean, to
That's
me,
interesting.
that sounds fucking crazy to me. Like,
That's interesting.
Because, hey, listen to me. Most guys aren't retiring, and not in this industry at 55. You know what I mean? I don't see any auto body guys usually retiring. No owners either. If there's any owners left. Most of the shops out there now are being owned by corporate. It's not a lot of like independent little guys left. Well, I mean, around by me, there's probably a lot left because there's 900 auto body shops and 30 square miles in New York City. But I don't know, man. Everywhere I go outside of New York, I mainly just pass corporate Calibers and whatever else is out there. I've seen some, what is it, Joe Hudson's and Crash
Gerbers,
Champions, didn't Gerber buy somebody, or Caliber buy Gerber? One of them didn't two of them get together? Aber and Gerber or some shit.
Joe Hudson was bought by, Joe Hudson bought a bunch of Classic Collision.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Was it?
Auto Body America.
Joe Hudson got bought by Crash Champions.
Or it was that way, or Joe Hudson got bought by Caliber.
Either way, or just big companies eating bigger companies, companies up the food chain. You know what I mean?
That's what it's going to be. That's the future of this industry.
Those companies already had how many fucking locations? And then they combine.
Caliber's got like 2,800 now or something.
Right. And then they combine themselves with a Gerber or something. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I thought we weren't allowing monopolies in this country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, dude, because it's what it's moving towards. Because slowly the market, they're just smoking it out. You know what I mean? And the next thing they'll start to do is they'll start to offer some type of insurance kickback or something where they won't charge to apply seam sealer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like that one thing alone would end every independent owner out there. You know what I mean? And when these big corporate deals are being made and, like the independent guys getting left out of that conversation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. But McDonald's, it's kind of like a franchise ownership, there's a lot of those out there, but not everybody
privately owned, at least,
Yeah. But there's so many other better places and people go to those because they're better. You just have to be better than the other guys at what you're doing. And, you just have to play the game.
I agree with you right now. Yes. But I do believe in 5-10 years, that won't matter because honestly, the next generation just goes where the GPS tells them. So right now, as an independent shop owner, if you want to come to me and I'm not on your program, you will probably have to sit on hold probably about an hour. And that whole time you're on hold, you're just going to get a beautiful message in your ear that if you go to their app, this will take 30 seconds. You'll be all good. Flowers will come out from the heavens.
They do.
Or you can wait on the phone. So you tell me if the 25-year-old kid who can't even wait till Thursday for his Amazon package makes you pay $4 more to get it tomorrow at 7 a.m. You mean to tell me that's the kid that's going to wait their turn? Yeah. All right. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No,
that's the kid that we got to rely on as independent owners to fight all the steering to get to us. Nah, bro, not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. You see it. Like we used to have generational customers. You know what I mean? Like even if you moved away from here and 45 minutes away from here, you would still come back here because your dad came here and his dad came here.
Right.
And it didn't matter, especially if you were somebody's daughter. Oh, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that you got married and moved to Patchogue or something. Oh no, my dad trusts Anthony at Frog Hollow. I'm going there. But it's getting tougher and tougher to rely on that customer. It's getting tougher and tougher because the next generation just don't care. Leasing
Right.
too. Leasing killed the industry too. Because how many people show up the week before their leases due? Oh, I don't give a shit. It's a lease.
Mm-hmm.
What? I understand that, but the paint that goes on it still costs the same.
Yeah,
Right.
You
right.
know what I mean? And I tell people all the time, can you paint half my hood? No. Why? Because when you go out there, somebody's going to go, who the fuck did that? And you're going to say, Anthony from Frog Hollow did it. You are not going to tell them that you are a cheap motherfucker.
Definitely. It never happened. It'll never happen.
So that's why you got to protect your reputation, and you can't do things like that because people go out there and they'll slam you. And as the independent owner, again, another major issue, reviews. Dude, independent shop owners, we get fucking killed if we get a bad review. It is a nightmare for a small business owner to have bad reviews. You know, I have like 4 bad reviews. None of them have anything to do with the work on the car. It's all stupid shit. You know what I mean? But does anybody check the reviews before they go in Home Depot or Lowe's? No. So again, but the hardware store, if you got a bad review about Jimmy in the hardware store, one stupid Mitch called him a creep. Nobody's going in the hardware store. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So again, Yelp is just to trash small business. Dude, when you get a bad Yelp review, Yelp will call you. They'll be like, we can't delete the review because that's against our policy. But for $300, they'll find Jimmy Hoffa before they find that review on this website.
Yeah, right.
Come on, bro. It's an extortion ring. You know what I mean? And these
Yeah,
people are playing into it, you know, by doing the reviews. And I always
Yelp-
laugh. Can
Yelp is
anybody
horrible.
happy do a review? Nope.
Very rare.
Only pissed off people will sit there for a fucking hour.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
One guy blamed not seeing his kid on Christmas on me because he didn't get his car back. I'm
Oh,
like, bro,
wow.
if you didn't go see your kid on Christmas, please do not blame me for that. Okay, that's crazy.
That's
Oh, my
crazy stuff
goodness.
right there. I mean, most of the people here are not even signed into Google to even leave a review. Like,
Well,
I mean, I can ask 200 people and I'll probably get one.
I will tell you a funny story about how I changed my review future. I got a bad review. Here we go. So I'm like, all right, how am I going to compound this? So, you know, I had a girl working in my office who was 20 years old. I gave her $200 and I was like, yo, when you're at the bar Friday night, 5-star review, free shot for any guy. Bro, you had to see these reviews coming out. I had the most magical hands when he worked on my car. Dude, people were coming into the shop like, whoa, bro, I read your reviews. Those things are, man, they must really like you. Like, no, those are shit-faced college kids that wanted a free shot. But look how much of a joke this Yelp thing really is. It's a
That's
joke.
funny.
It's a
Right.
scam. It's an extortion ring to extort business owners out of $300 to hide reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I have seen people, you know, I mean,
There's
when I
groups
first-
that do that same thing. Like,
Oh,
out
yeah.
here.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
They just
Oh,
go
yeah.
in.
Well,
you
that-
know.
Well,
Like,
like the group shit. Like when I go in those groups, like we were talking about before, about, you know, this is the argument I always have with every tech, and I know we were talking about it off camera a little bit, is in my opinion, flat rate was not designed for any technician.
Mhm.
Flat rate was designed so you worked free overtime. The only reason why I'm saying that is because that's how it was presented to me
Yeah.
as an owner. I was a
Right.
tech and then I became an owner. So I
Mhm.
didn't hear that pitch as the tech. I heard you can make a lot of money. You can work as much as you want. You got as much cars out there as you want. You can go fucking
Right.
crazy all day long.
Yeah, control
That's
your
what I got
schedule.
as a tech until I found out as a tech that my $50 an hour job is now $17 an hour. And I'm
Right.
like, whoa, I thought I was going to get $50 an hour for my, no. And I'm like, wait, but
Mm.
when we work on Saturday, we get time and a half right now. Fucking making
Yeah.
$90 an hour on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Why would I want to do that?
Right.
And I'm like, shit. Then I became an owner. And the same guy sat in front of me and he gave me the other side of it, which was like, these fucking guys will work 90 hours a week and you ain't got to pay them one fucking penny of overtime.
Right.
That was
And
the
if you don't have any
whole-
work, you don't have to pay them at all
Mhm.
or
Sorry,
barely
guys.
anything.
Sorry, guys. And listen, I understand, you know, just like me and Nick were talking. In his situation, he couldn't be an hourly guy. But all I'm saying is if everything is equal,
Mm-hmm.
if it's not, it's not. If the only way to get to your $2,000 a week as a heavy guy, if that's what you're shooting for or whatever you're shooting for,
Right.
is to be a flat rate tech, burn your fucking house down for 6 days a week to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But if the option was that or make the same $2,500 a week take home and you could go take a shit and it don't matter, I just can't see how guys could still say everything even flat rate was made for the technician. I've had this fight with 700 technicians. Well, fuck you. I work for my money. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to get your money is what I'm saying. Dude, over by us around here in the New York City area, there's almost no flat rate.
It's totally different.
Nothing here.
It would be difficult for me to work hourly just because, in an hourly setting, the way that I would see it, I don't know because I hadn't worked there, but I would feel like you're being managed like 100% of the time. Like people are like, okay, when you get done with this car, then you work on this one. When you get done with this one, then you work on this one.
Yes.
Me, I like to get a whole shitload of tear downs estimates, and I like to go through these and see which one would be the fastest way to produce this. Get all these taken apart, get all this done, take a 2-hour lunch and leave at 3:30 and be done with that shit and get on to the next day, get the parts in and roll
because you had a good process for yourself.
Right.
And the room to do so
into your own business in a way, which is like what I said about, about flat rate, and you had a great system and it worked great for you. And that's why you were very successful at it.
Right.
I can't even get my fucking guys to fucking go get the part out of the container.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know where I think
and
flat
maybe
rate
that is
feels?
Because of the way I pay them. You know what I mean? Maybe if they were flat rate, they'd be buzzing around like that too.
I mean, it does give you a sense of relax. I don't care about this, but I will say that flat rate in the mechanical side of it really does torture a lot of these mechanics out here. I will say that. Just
man,
because
you see some of the labor rates on mechanical, you're like,
yeah,
I mean, like labor hours. I'm like, damn.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like CCC, in my opinion, something over the last year is, I feel like their hours have gotten tighter. Seeing things like door skin times dropping, things not being included that used to be included that you're not realizing now is not
they
included.
make you fish for it now. They make you fish for it because
write a good ticket.
There's so much other data you can source from that you pretty much have to anyways nowadays to get it back to OEM standards, that they're just pretty much basing it down, and then you add all these line notes to get back to where you were. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's a lot more work. It's a lot more work.
If you hear the word documentation one more time, I might throw myself off a cliff.
Yeah. I feel like a lawyer.
Take a picture and do it on a supplement. If I hear that word, it's a funny thing too, man. Like 15 years ago, it was like the worst thing in the world if you needed a supplement. Like if you were a Geico DR, oh God, all they gave a shit about was your supplement ratio. So it's like, you better get it on the first time.
Severity.
Made sure we did.
Yep,
now it's crazy. It's completely opposite. Now it's hell no. We ain't paying for nothing up front. Everything's a photo on the back end and a supplement. But I was like, man, that's going to make our supplement ratio go nuts. Like, we're not even calculating that anymore.
They
don't
like
care
last week, that was the biggest thing. That's another thing about the industry, constantly changing. The goalposts constantly moving. They constantly come up with something else for you to do.
And the cars,
like another step.
Same
thing like parts, they want us to use parts traders now, the DRs. Listen, I'm not saying the program probably has its benefits, but man, it's a rough program in a DR setting because you got to like ask for parts and then come back an hour and a half later and check who like from the junkyards in America put in parts for you.
But and they're not shipping to you from where I'm at. They're not, people aren't doing that, And I've seen people
right now, if you're a Geico DR, you'll be using Parts Trader because they just mandatoried it on us. So it's like, and State Farm, it's been mandatory for a while. And again, like I imagine that the program does have benefits. I just haven't seen any of them, to be honest. And when they ask me, like, I have a pretty decent relationship with a lot of the big bosses at some of these companies because, dude, I've been around forever and I'm one of the only younger guys in this industry. So like when they were trying to pilot a lot of these DR programs, some of these companies, they'd come to me and ask me if I would, like pilot it for them, because I was just a younger guy in the industry that, was open to change, where a lot of these older guys like, fuck no. But I mean, so a lot of these programs, they're retreads. Like the Geico program today was the Geico program 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the DRS program. You emailed the things in, they reviewed them in-house, and then they sent them back to you. Then they went away from that when they put the adjusters in the shop, which in my opinion was the best model they ever had, in my opinion. For production, for customer satisfactory, for speed of the job. Before they switched from that model, you were supposed to keep an under 4-day cycle time. Once they switched out of that model, they made it 10 days. Why? Because the new model is not as quick.
It's a horrible.
It probably saves them money, so that's why they'd rather pay more rental. The other model was probably costing them money, not to mention the amount of guys they had out in the field.
Our in-house adjuster was cruising the shop going, "Oh, you didn't do that I wrote. Let me go remove that from the estimate."
Oh, no,
you're not doing that? Let me remove that from the estimate.
Dude, that guy would have not been able to.
We had problems. But that's my memory of the Geico ARX program. So not a fan. And I saw them get kicked out of 3 shops. 3 separate shops kicked Geico ARX out, just said, get out.
I think a lot of it is different regions, different areas. And honestly,
it was their manager.
As much as it's a big program, in the beginning, it was a smaller program in the beginning, where like in my area, they really only wanted the biggest and the best. They really only wanted people on main roads that, like me, that were exposed, that had good reputations, solid shops. They would come around, and then over time, it really just became that if you have a frame rack and a toilet bowl, you could be a DR now. Right. You know what I mean? And that it really saturated the market too. Like, okay, great. Instead of giving every real good shop what they need, you just divided the work between the real good shops, some shitty shops, and now none of us are getting what we need. Instead of 2 of us getting what we need, 5 of us are now not getting what we need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that's the age-old thing, man. You fight for the volume. You always think that they control the volume. That's the other thing that you constantly fight with the companies about, like, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen a claim. Did you turn it off? And I don't know. They always say the same thing. We don't know what you're talking about when you say turn it off. Like, what do you mean turn it off? I'm like, did you guys like shut me off or something? Like, what happened? They're like, no, it's just slow claims. You're like, I don't know. Something feels weird, So it's like that game is always going on. You always wonder, like,
you never know.
Do they have some nozzle that they're always controlling on the other side?
I'll bet you some kind of control.
Yeah, well, listen,
I'm sure it gets slow now and then, but I never trust.
Well, a lot of those guys get their bonuses based on performance. So if you're a better performing shop, those supervisors want those cars to go to that shop. Makes them look better, And
another thing with the MSOs and another thing with the MSOs is
based
like
on speed.
If it's slow in this region, like then an MSO shop will pull from a region that has more work to level one out versus an independent shop can't do that. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Honestly, I've never heard. Well, I mean, I would imagine that they would, I guess if they had them in proximity to each other, but if I was a customer and I found out that my car got towed over 20 miles away, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
We had a satellite location. We had a satellite location, and the last shop I was at, it was a Car Star, and they had a satellite location. They had this old guy that would go and just pick up cars and drop them off to another location.
That I could see. Because that happens around here, but that's like an office location. That's not, I dropped it off to this auto body shop, signed paperwork at this auto body shop, left. And then all of a sudden they took my car 20 miles down the road.
Yeah.
I would say around here, I think people would have a problem with that. Dude, I get phone calls like, my car's been running for 27 minutes. I just got an email.
20 miles.
You need to plug my car in.
Is a lot different than 20 miles for me, though. Like it's wide open here. And that kind of stuff happens all the time. I mean, they bring the car right back, but it's still like, they don't have to go to another shop. It's just workload transfer from one that has too much versus one that's not enough. Guys could be sick, somebody could be out, whatever the situation.
Got to make sure they keep their flat rate
Yeah.
techs happy with all that work.
Right.
Well, that's another thing that
Right.
I also didn't like about flat rate, which is like, if you don't have the work, these guys don't make nothing.
Right.
And what happens if you're
Right.
slow for 3 weeks, man? Dude, like my guys would have quit.
And that's why I didn't
After
get
the
into
first
it.
fucking week, they would have quit.
It was on the, I've only experienced that one time in a college town, and back in like 2011. That happened to me one time.
Where it was
Slow.
that,
We
Yeah,
gotta
it
got
you get
slow.
a base, right? That's how
Uh-huh.
that works. No,
Do
there is
what?
no mandatory minimum if nothing comes in.
No,
Like
no,
500,
there's no
600.
mandatory minimum, nothing. Like if you didn't
For a lot of
sign
places,
anything,
no.
like if you didn't say,
I
hey,
thought
you
there
know,
was like a guaranteed floor just in
No.
case.
no,
Some of them,
not
but not all.
not in this
God,
area.
even
this
fucking
time.
worse. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
It gets worse as I find out more about it.
Yeah, yeah.
When I
And it-
started in this trade, we still had slow periods. I mean, we were busy in the winter when it
Mhm.
snowed, and then we were slow in the summer. So
Yeah.
you look at me, and I'm looking at flat rate shops going, ain't no way. I need to make money every week. I have rent to
Right,
pay.
well,
I have this,
that-
and, you know.
And dude, that's and again, as an owner, I wouldn't want that pressure.
Mhm.
Because again, just like, and that's what I said to the guy when it was presented to me about turning my shop flat rate. I was like, I almost got to guarantee every guy out there a gymnasium of cars.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to tell you, well, the way you're going to get this 2,500 a week now is you're going to have to burn 200 hours. I better have fucking 800 hours worth of work outside.
Right.
Because if you don't,
Or I'm sticking around.
that's not the way it works. You know, like,
Right.
hey, you told me I'm on a commission model, but you got to have the
Well,
cars.
Well, that's where it
That's a
comes
big thing,
in.
too.
That's where it comes in. The writing has to be more detailed. The hours, you can't just put, like, if you got a damage that's like huge, you know, like a 2-foot damage quarter panel or something, you can't just put, oh, we'll put 6.5 on that and it'll be good. You know, you have to write it, and you have to write everything like legit.
Well, the setup and the measure, that's funny you said that, because for the longest time, adjusters and they use setup and measure and pull. So
Mhm.
that way they didn't get flagged for labor hours on repairs.
Right.
Come on, everybody know, don't worry, I'll hit you with a setup and a measure. That'll take care of the extra 2 hours, because if I put 10 on that quarter, I'm going to get flagged. So I'll
Right.
put 8 and 2
Yeah.
here and 2, well, you know, like that type of game. But
Mhm.
that game's gone now too, because you got to turn in the measurement sheets. So when the adjuster goes, yo, I'll throw a 2 on there to make the hours work.
Mhm.
Nah, bro, because it doesn't work anymore, because now I actually have to do that function.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
what you're saying is you're trying to tell me to accept that function in place of the other hours, which in a way is fraud in itself too. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Like, so,
Yep.
but that's a whole different topic. It's like,
Yeah,
how many
we could
gray
go-
areas does everybody live in? Where at the drop of a hat, they could decide they don't like this gray area, and you did something very wrong in this gray area.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and how many
we don't
gray
want 'em
areas
caught
are in
there.
this industry? The whole industry is gray.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, like if you got a quarter panel that's $1,500, it pays 16 hours to put it on. I mean, and you have wheelhouse damage, you got to add for wheelhouse damage, seam sealer, all that other stuff. But if you can save some of that, you know, just get you some wheelhouse damage, quarter panel damage, get you new flares and stuff. I mean, you can write a decent amount. I mean, because you're looking at 1,500 plus 16 hours worth of labor. I'm not
A good
saying
writer.
max all that all the way out, but I mean, you
Correct,
can put
like you
more
said.
than $400 on it.
You just
You
have
know?
to really have somebody that could really fucking write a car. And in
Right.
my opinion, they're becoming far and few between.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
guys
yeah.
that really know what they're doing. And I'm not talking about, you know, like, you know,
Mhm.
Larry or any of these people that are like,
No,
on
I
that.
was just talking about basic.
I'm just talking
people.
about just a guy that could do his fucking job. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about anything crazy. Talking about just
Mm-hmm.
a really good estimator, knows what he's doing, knows where to push it, where to pull it,
Yeah.
you know, understands that if we got paid $400 for a used quarter and 50,000 hours detrimming, if the brand new quarter was 550, you should just buy the brand new quarter. You know what I
You know
mean?
who the
Like,
best person is for a job like that? An ex-body tech. But guess who isn't allowed to quit their job? A body tech, because we need body techs. So the fact that we're keeping body techs and painters and everybody in the shop,
Listen.
not moving them up into a growth position like in the office. Now you have to hire outside people that have never put their hands on tools. Now we have a bad writer. Now you pissed off all your techs.
right. Well, that's like what we were talking about before. Like, an adjuster used to just be a tired body guy.
Yeah.
That's what an insurance adjuster was. He was
Right.
just a guy that was tired of swinging the hammer.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was somebody you could have a reasonable conversation with.
Right.
You know, it's funny. In the year 2000, I actually worked for Geico for 1 year. Okay.
sorry.
And I
Oh,
was going
wow.
to go into their adjusters program and all
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, I got so much resistance. Well, I worked there and then I was going to go into the program. And the manager called me in his office and he's like, Anthony, you don't get it. You know about auto body. They are afraid of you. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought I got the job because I have auto body experience and that makes me good. And then he's like, no. He goes, they
Right.
want to teach somebody who's never touched a car. So
Right.
that way they could actually believe when they tell you something,
Mhm.
you know, because that guy actually believed that you didn't have to do that, but you can't
Right.
say that because you know he does. So
Right.
we'd
Right.
rather train guys that we could just train to our program than guys that are going to go out there and sympathize with a shop.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, bro, you know I got to do that. Come on. And I'll be like, yeah, actually, I do know you got to do that. I know you got to move that to fix that. Whereas
Right.
the other guy's like, well, it doesn't say that in my book, and it didn't say that in my class. So fuck you,
Right.
I ain't paying for it.
Yeah. You
Right.
don't know what you don't know in that sense. And if you can truly believe like what
What
you're
you don't
trying
know.
to tell these people, and you know, then you can argue with it better than going, hey, you know, I have a conscience. I know what you have to do here, but I'm just deliberately not putting it on here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I thought was like oh wow, I thought I was going to be like the king of the insurance company. I have
Yeah,
all this
no.
experience. I know everything. Now I was like, whoa, no,
Mm.
now maybe they'd take me back now because they would love a guy like me to work for them, just pick apart everything. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I became a review guy, oh my God, they would hate me. They would hate me if I
Me
was
too.
a review guy for an insurance company.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Because I mean, if your job is to destroy estates, oh God, these guys would hate me. They would hate me. I would have to probably go around with security. Because man, because around here, man, it's a lot of trying real hard to get paid for as much as possible, which I know that's everywhere, man. I'm
Mhm.
sure it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But when it's $100,000 in taxes to have a little square piece of shit in New York like
Right.
we do and stuff, and the insurance and everything, and we pay our guys salary because again, that's what it is around here.
Mhm.
Dude, I have all my friends, all my friends that don't shop, all the heavy guys are clearing big money after taxes. And dude, you know what that does for workman's comp insurance for these guys? Forget
Yeah.
it, bro. For
Yeah.
every $100 you pay an employee, you pay $4 in workman's comp insurance. So you do the math, you got $1 million payroll. That's a lot of money every year.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I always see the guys on these pages too. I was like, oh, my boss showed up in his new truck and he told me if I work really hard this year, next year he'll get another new truck, the asshole. And I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, man. Please, man, believe me. I don't know. Maybe some shop owners got it like that, but I definitely wasn't like that. You know, I had to pay for everything I bought. You know, I had payments. I had note payments. Dude, there was many, many weeks where I was fucking giving them my paychecks, selling shit. I used to flip used couches to make payroll sometimes. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
do what you got to do sometimes to survive, but it's harder and harder to survive in the auto body industry as a single shop owner. I really thought at my
even
point
as
in
a
my career,
technician.
either I had to buy 5 shops right now and become my own corporation, or I had to do what I did and, you know, decide to bow out, let somebody else take the control, see what they could do with it. You know, we turned into a car star facility, which, you know, it's a little different. I never thought I'd be in some type of corporate type facility, but really, if I'm going to stay in this industry and anybody else is going to stay in this industry, we all better get used to it because
You're
what it
very
is, man.
correct. You're very correct.
And if
Anthony,
you don't want to get used to it, get out because
yeah.
Mhm.
Is there anything you want to finish off and make sure people know before we close out here where they can find you if they want to contact
sure.
you?
I mean, you could find me at Anthony DeMieri on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok at Anthony DeMieri.
Okay. TikTok.
I put out content every single day. So if you go and you follow me, every day I put out new content. I'm always shooting videos. I'm always putting out content of me painting cars. I have a couple of really cool, crazy reels on there. We did a cartoon paint job on a 350Z. That was a lot of fun. Some pictures of us drawing on that thing with markers. We had a good time with that thing. That thing was crazy too, man. I just saw a picture of a cartoon car and I was like, man, I want to try that, but I'm like, I don't want to do it on somebody's car, like to charge them. So I bought a Hit 350Z for like $2,000. Needed a fender and a door.
Yeah.
I got it offline, eBay, $500. It was a black one. We turned this thing. If you ever go look, with like electric blue, with all crazy. My buddy, big shout out to Steve. Steve came out and helped me. My buddy Steve, he lived in the woods by him fucking self right now, like a lunatic. But he's a really good artist, and me and him have had a lot of fun together. He's actually a retired fireman, which is crazy, but he is a wild guy. Yeah,
That's
he's living
awesome.
in the woods by himself right now, and that's where he belongs.
Sounds like an interesting guy.
I've done a lot of
That's for
cool
sure.
stuff, man. In my career, I painted a lot of bikes, cars. I've done a lot of crazy shit. Back when I was younger, in my 20s, there wasn't a lot of guys doing auto body that, I hate to say it, are white and my age. So everybody from around my area always came to me. Even if you didn't like me as a person, you still came to me because I did great work. And so, yeah, I got to do a lot of fun shit when I was young, you know, change over front ends from like Volkswagens to Sentra. Like, I don't know, a lot of crazy shit. I had a lot of fun in my career. I still like to have fun. I painted a 1979 Suzuki bike. I got some other Triumph there right now. I still love my craft. I love my career. I love getting up every day and going and do what I do.
Awesome.
I don't regret becoming a car painter. I'm proud of what I became. I'm proud that I was able to, you know, get my fucking shit together mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And I'm proud that I was able to give my wife and kids and the next generation of my family, hopefully, you know, next generation of wealthy people, you know, like that's the way to do it. You know, I did everything. My dad started it, and, you know, I raised it up a notch, and I, you know, I got out at the right time for me and my family, and now we're all going to enjoy the fruits of our labors.
That's
very
awesome. Man.
Very happy for you, Anthony, for sure.
Well, I look forward to seeing more videos of you out here.
Yeah, man.
I'll go through and check out the cartoon.
Come catch up with you guys somewhere at a show or something like that. And
absolutely,
who knows? Maybe one day I'm gonna have you guys on my podcast. I really don't do too much full podcasting because, to be honest, bro, the editing's wild.
Yeah,
you know, like you guys do
live.
We
don't.
Yeah, I know. You guys do live shows.
Yeah,
I hate to say this. I'm a little more like fucking nutty with like polish. You know, it's just the type of person I am. I have OCD, you know what I mean? Like, I get my hair cut at the same place every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Like, you know, like I'm just that type of like really fucking nutty dude. So if I'm going to do something, I'm usually like crazy about it, or else I don't do it.
There ain't nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just a live, unedited kind of
dude, it's awesome, man.
Gig that we can get the word out per se.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's why, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. You know, you guys seem like good guys. I'm sure we'll link up somewhere in the future, maybe physically. You know, I did go to SEMA last year. I didn't go this year. It was fucking cold last year. I got pissed off.
We were there last year.
Yeah, it was so cold, man.
It was cold.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even bring I didn't bring a sweatshirt. I came from New York. I was like, I thought it was fucking hot in Vegas. I thought we were in the desert. It was fucking freezing. I was so pissed.
It did get kind of cold. Yeah,
it was cold. I do Northeast Trade Show usually in New Jersey. It's just over the border in New Jersey. It's probably not for another couple months.
Is that NES or whatever they call that? It's at the
Meadowlands. Yeah, Northeast Trade Show.
Yeah. All right. No, I'll definitely come do that.
I'll hit that. So if you go there, we'll meet up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, in the past, I pretty much just been working 7 days a week. So that's why, like I said, I stopped doing content once I sold the shop. You know, I was like, all right, now I could get back into it. I got more time. You know, I got my weekends back to myself. That was honestly the greatest gift that I gave myself.
I'd love to stand and answer your questions, you know, that you do with your videos. So if you do come please bring a camera, man. We'll get that done.
Listen to me. You'll learn one thing about me. If you see me, there's a camera somewhere. If you see me out there, there's a camera. I promise you, somewhere.
Nice.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Yeah.
Don't disappear. We're going to end the show, and then we're going to talk after once we wrap it up. But everybody, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate all you guys.
We'll see you all next week. We got another cool show lined up next week. So
we got
thanks, guys.
Got it. Tune in.
Stay sober.
See you guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So crank it up loud.